I'm a veteran of the infantry, and when I took over a fire team for the first time, I made the mistake of drawing hard lines in the sand. This immediately alienated members of that team that had been together for some time. I did not make that mistake again, and I definitely learned from my experience.
So clearly there's not a question there.
Yeah.
And I forget pulling this out from, I get a lot of emails and messages and all that, but I thought it was a good point to bring up to say, this idea of drawing hard lines in the sand and what that does to your leadership position. It's a difficult, it's usually not a good thing to do. If you draw a lot hard lines in the sand and eventually you realize that they're either unrealistic or people can't maintain them, you've set yourself up for failure.
What is that exactly, like drawing lines?
So it's like, no matter what, we will not.
Gotcha.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there's the line.
No matter what,
Got it.
we will win every single road march that we do as a fire team in this while we're here on this training thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, guess what? That's hard.
Yep.
There's some other fire teams that are also want to win. Mm-hmm. And so you've drawn a hard line to sand. That's not really a good example. A good example is like, no matter what, we're going to muster every morning at 4:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. No matter what. And then the guys are out on patrol until 2:38 in the morning, and now the next morning you're good no matter what. I said no matter what. Well, it's not good for them. It's unrealistic. So you drew a hard line in the sand, and now you got to back it down. So, and all you have to do is soften the statement a little bit. Hey guys, to the best of our ability, if we can, we're going to get here every morning at 4:30 for muster. There's a little room to play there, right? Mm-hmm. And that's fine. So. Again, there's not a question here, but one of the reasons I think that I wanted to talk about it was because I think people look at me, and even hear me on a peripheral level, and they think, "Oh, I bet Jocko just laid down the hard lines."
Sure.
And it's my way or the highway, right?
Yeah.
And the opposite is actually true. And the reason that I came to that conclusion was because I worked for leaders like that, and I hated working for leaders like that. So I tried to never be a leader like that. And there's a dichotomy, right? Sure. There's a huge dichotomy. Because this doesn't mean that you're not driving and pushing. This doesn't mean that you're not saying, hey, we're going to be the best whatever, we're going to be the best task unit here. It doesn't mean you're not saying, hey, look, we're not going to rest until we've done what we're supposed to do. It doesn't mean that. But, man, you got to find that balance.
Yeah. It does feel like that with you. That you're like, it feels like that, but my experience obviously is we're under no like extreme circumstances,
right?
But just like the simple stuff, like it really does seem like you wake up at 4:30 in the morning every single morning, do or die.
Well, 100%. That I do, unless like there's sometimes where I get home at, like I remember a little while ago, I got home at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's basically my cutoff zone. If I'm getting less than 4.5 hours of sleep, then I'll be like, oh yeah, and I'll wake up and I've been like, hey, I only got 2.5 hours of sleep last night. That's not enough. I'm going back to bed.
Right. That's what I mean. Where
I've tweeted that out before.
Yeah, I know.
I'm too tired.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like when that happens, it almost like it catches you off guard. When you did that. I mean, obviously not like, oh, Jocko's not as strict. It's not that feeling at all. It's just kind of like, oh, dang. You do have that flexibility when it's the correct thing kind of thing.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah, you're not a slave to your rigidity.
Well, what you're saying is I don't draw hard lines in the sand. Taking it back to the question.
Yes, exactly right.
But it's real easy to go down the slippery slope of like, well, I actually didn't eat real good yesterday, so I probably need some more sleep to recover today.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's a rest day, so I might as well turn on the TV. Oh, you know what would be good with TV? Maybe some popcorn. Oh, you know what would be good with some popcorn? Maybe some cheese sticks. ends up M&M's. It's a rest day, right? Yeah,
Going down
it's slippery.
the wrong path.
It's slippery. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I guess the opposite of the path is the slippery slope.
Exactly right. Next question. Hi. Scenario.
That's actually a legit way to think of it too.
Yeah.
If it's a legit way to think of things, if you're on the path, when you know what the path is, as we talked about with Tim Ferriss, if you're on the path, which you know, well, when you step off the path, it's a slippery slope.
Yep. Big time.
Off the path is a slippery, slippery slope. And what'd you just say? The popcorn can lead to cheat sticks, can lead to M&Ms.
Yeah.
That's the slippery slope right there.
Yeah. And sometimes you slip so hard that you just plunge deep off the path.
Yeah.
Fall off the wagon, land hard.
All right.